Hi, I'm Louise, and here is a 40-minute yoga flow to soothe those tired, aching legs, suitable for all levels. So coming down onto your back, let's start with the soles of the feet together, knees out wide in Supta Baddha Konasana, and bring your hands, your palms onto your stomach, middle fingers touching at the navel. And as you inhale, feeling the belly expand, yogic breath, fingertips drifting apart slightly. And as you exhale, feel the fingertips drift back together. On every exhalation, feel the shoulders gently drift down into the earth as your knees begin to fall away as well, opening up through the hips, allowing your lower back just to melt down towards the earth. Closing the eyes, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Staying here for just a few more breaths, relaxing the mind as you connect with your parasympathetic nervous system. Big, deep breaths. Drawing your awareness to within the four corners of your mat as you inhale, bring the knees together, hugging the knees into the chest as you release your lower back into the mat. Maybe rolling the knees in a circle, massaging your lower back down. And then taking the knees in the opposite direction, moving with control. And now let's hug our right knee into the chest as we straighten our left leg, toes flexing up towards the sky. Draw the knee towards your right armpit. And then bring your left hand to the right knee, right arm out to the side. And as you exhale, drift your right knee across to the left, taking your gaze to the right as we come into a gentle supine twist, connecting with our nervous system that runs along the spine, so activating all the nerve cells in the body, getting a lovely glute stretch here on the right side, and also a release for the lower back as we increase circulation to that part of the body. As you inhale, bring the head back to center, followed by your knee. One more hug of the knee in towards the chest as you exhale. Maybe rolling your ankle, stretching out the toes, releasing through your right foot. And then both knees come back into the chest. Straightening the right leg as you keep hold of the left. And then right hand to left knee to take it over to the right. As your left arm comes out wide shoulder height, gaze follows your left fingertips. If you'd like a deeper stretch, you can always lift that knee, that left knee in this instance, a little bit higher up towards the armpit. But being mindful of where you are feeling this pose. And keep the breath, deep breath. And then inhale, head back to center, followed by the knee, hugging the knee in towards the chest, rolling your left ankle, stretching through the toes, releasing through your left foot. And then bringing your right knee back in. Good. Wrap your forearms around your shins, forehead to knees. And then let's find our strap or a towel. If you don't have a strap handy, let's straighten the left leg back out again and bring the strap around the ball or towel around the ball of your right foot. Good. So walk your hands up the strap so that your arms are straight and active. One end of the strap in each hand. And then as you exhale, allow your shoulders to again drift back down, relax back down into the mat as you take your toes, your right toes up and overhead. So rather than draw, crunch the toes down towards your face, find space at the hips to create room in this pose to lengthen further into your hamstrings. If you feel any tension behind your right knee joint, just put a little bend in the right knee so you don't lock out through the back of the knee joint. And then on every exhalation, see if the toes will come a little bit further. If you want to stretch through the calf muscle, put a bend through the knee. And now bring the straps into your left hand, right arm out to the side, again, shoulder height. Exhale, foot to the left, look across to the right, delving into our piriformis that when tight can put pressure on our sciatic nerve, particularly when we sit for long periods of time or we ride a bicycle or run, that piriformis muscle can get tight. So it's really important to take time to stretch it out. Your leg can be at a 45-degree angle or flat down to the ground. It all depends on where that sweet spot is for you, where you are feeling the stretch down the outside of the leg. Inhale, head back to center, followed by your foot. Exhale, take the foot over to the right, left hand on your left hip to keep the hips coming down to the ground. And then inhale, head back to center, followed by the leg. Exhale. One more stretch through that right hamstring. Remove the strap, hug both knees into the chest. Okay, so let's come on to the left side now. So coming into this pose exactly the same way as you did on the other side, straightening through your right leg, flex both sets of toes back towards the shins, and again, strap around the ball of the left foot, arms straight and active, finding space at the hips to open up through the hamstring a little bit further as you take the toes up and overhead, extending from the top of your hamstring. And again, play around with this, have a little bit of fun, put a bend in the knee, maybe feel the stretch through your calf muscle if you'd prefer. Adapt the pose to suit you and how you are feeling today, knowing that every day on the mat is different, which is what makes yoga so exciting. Good. So inhale here one more time. Good, and then as you exhale, let's take our foot over to the right now. Left arm out wide, shoulder height, gaze towards the left fingertips, feeling into the piriformis on the left side. So move that leg, maybe draw the toes up towards your shoulder a little bit more, maybe put a bend in the knee, maybe lift the leg up to a 45-degree angle so you're feeling that lovely stretch down the outside of the left leg now. Keep breathing. Inhale, big yogic breaths like we did at the start. Exhale, go a little bit further into the stretch. Inhale, head back to center, followed by the leg. And then exhale, drifting your foot over to the left, keeping your right hip down to accentuate the stretch through the hips. And then inhale, leg back to center. And exhale, taking the toes up and overhead one more time. And then releasing the strap, put it to one side and hug both knees back into the chest, rocking from side to side. Feeling the lower back stretch out along the mat. Cross one ankle over the other, tuck the chin in. Inhale to rock up onto your sitting bones. Exhale onto your shoulder blades, massaging your back muscles into the mat, creating heat. Trying not to let your feet touch the mat as you inhale. And then on your last inhalation, let's come up into a seated position, diamond shape with our legs. So take the heels out a little bit further than they would be, again in Supta Baddha Konasana. Gripping onto our ankles, inhale, cat-cow pose, look up towards the sky, C shape in the spine. And then exhale as you round back down through the spine, pulling back on your ankles to find leverage to open up through the shoulder blades. Inhale, look up towards the sky. Exhale, stretching through the shoulder blades. And as you exhale, feel free to open the mouth to detoxify the body. Now walk the heels in a little bit closer towards you, opening up your feet like you're reading a book. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, hinging forward at the hips. Pushing your knees down gently with your elbows to increase this hip opening pose. And keep the chest open, gaze forward to ensure that your spine stays straight and in alignment to release any tension in your lower back. And as you exhale, you'll find your torso will continue to drift down towards your legs. Inhale to lift back up, a couple of shoulder rolls to release. Now straighten your left leg out, sole of your right foot onto the inside of the left leg. Flex the left toes up towards the sky. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold over your left leg, again hinging at the hips like a door hinge. So until your torso comes flat to your leg, keep your chest open, gaze forward over the toes to ensure you're lengthening through the spine, increasing space between the vertebrae of the spine, like someone has the crown of your head and they're pulling you upwards, forwards, lifting up and out of the hips to create space to deepen this hamstring stretch, working the right side of your torso down towards the ground so that your torso stays parallel over your left leg. Try not to grip on too much here either. The hinging, the action should be coming from the hips. The momentum forward should be coming from the hips. And if it isn't, just sit on a block to give you that leverage to come forward. Staying low now, keep the stretch in the hamstrings. Bring your right hand to the outside of the left foot or left shin, ankle. And the left fingertips wander out to the side. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, open your chest to the left to create a twist here again at the base of the spine. And then inhale, wander your torso back over your left leg. Bring your arm onto the inside of the left leg, hand to the outside of the left foot, or again, just bring your hand to the left shin. Inhale the right arm up and over, reaching for your left big toe in a lateral flexion. So again, keep the integrity of the pose as you open up the heart towards the sky, chin tucked in to look up towards the ceiling to protect the neck. Any tension in your neck, though, look down towards the ground. As you inhale, lift up and out of your lateral flexion, and then bring the sole of your right foot onto the mat. Hug the knee in as you take the foot to the outside of the left leg. Left fingertips behind. Inhale, reach the right arm high. Exhale, right knee over right elbow. And then let's switch the other way. Right fingertips behind. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, left elbow over right knee now this time. Tucking your chin in to look down at your shoulder behind you to keep your neck in its correct alignment. So using the leverage of your fingertips behind you and your elbow on your knee to lever you deeper into this twist. Relax the shoulders down away from the ears as you peel that right shoulder back. Inhale, head back to center, followed by the rest of the body. And now let's work onto the other side. So straighten through the right leg, left sole of the foot onto the inside of the right leg. Inhale again, lift and lengthen. And then exhale, hinging forward. Use the space, use the openness through the chest to come forward into this hamstring stretch. Any tension behind your right knee, you can always put a bend in the knee and flatten your torso down along your leg to again alleviate any rounding through your lower back. So let the shoulders relax, keep flexing the toes up towards the sky to activate your hamstring. Keep breathing in through the nose and exhaling out through the nose in this cooling forward folding pose. Staying low, left hand to the outside of the right foot, right fingertips wander out to the side. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, opening up the chest to the right into a twist. And then as you exhale, coming back over your right leg. Inhale. Bring your arm onto the inside of your right leg. Hand reaches to the outside of the right foot. Inhale, left arm up and over, squeezing all the internal organs into action in this lateral flexion. So these lateral flexion, these poses are great to do before a meal. So opening up through the chest, stretching and lengthening through the side body. And then as you inhale, use your top hand to lift you up and out. And then bringing the sole of your left foot to the mat, to the outside of the right leg. Right fingertips behind. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, left elbow over left knee. Twist. Inhale back to center. Take your left fingertips behind. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, right elbow over left knee now, coming into a twist the other way, a closed twist this time. Tucking your chin in to look down at your shoulder. Open through the chest. Big deep breaths. And these are the sorts of poses that create lots of energy in the body. Inhale back to center and exhale to release. Soles of the feet together again, knees out wide. Make sure both sitting bones are planted firmly down into the ground. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to forward fold. See if you can go a little bit further now in this pose. Second time round. And then inhale, rolling up through the spine, 1 or 2 shoulder rolls. Awesome release for the shoulders at the top. Cross your ankles, rolling over onto your hands and your knees, coming into tabletop position. Stacking the joints to protect the joints. Inhale, look up towards the sky. Exhale, round through the spine. Let's hold in our cat pose now. So push your hands down into the ground. Broaden through the upper back as you stretch out the shoulders, releasing any tension in the neck, chest, and shoulders. Good. Straighten through the right leg. Try and work your right heel down to the ground as you now stretch through the calf muscle. Knee back to center. Exhale, left leg. So work the left heel down to lengthen down the back of the leg, particularly your left calf muscle. And then bringing or bending your knee back into tabletop. Tuck the toes under. Let's come into our Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. And twist the heels to the right, twist them to the left, wiggling your hips from side to side. This feels awesome. Such a great release for the entire body. And now let's come into some downward dog waves. So inhale, roll forward through the spine. Exhale, roll back to downward dog. Inhale forward, exhale back. Bending through the knees, just hovering them above the mat as you do so. 2 big breaths here in downward facing dog. Walking the hands back towards your feet, coming into a forward fold, so feet are hip width apart. Allow your torso to connect with your legs, so bend the knees as much as you need to make this happen. Neck completely relaxed as you gaze in between the legs. Forearms run down the length of the calf muscles as you tilt the tailbone up towards the sky and gently bring the weight forward into your toes. Release the hands to the mat. Bring your left fingertips underneath your face. Straighten through the right leg, big bend through the left. Inhale, right fingertips up towards the sky. Right hip back and down as you find the piriformis again on your right side. Exhale, hand gaze releases to the mat. Inhale, reach your left arm high as you straighten through the left leg this time. Opening through the heart. Chin tucked in again if you're gazing upwards. And exhale, hand gaze to release. Coming back into your forward fold, pistol grip your big toes and take your elbows out wide as you again draw your torso down towards your legs, crown of the head drifting towards the earth. Feeling that release all the way down the back of the legs. Release your grip, walk the hands forward back into your downward facing dog. Just pedal out the feet now. And then inhale, reach your right leg high, bend the knee, heel to buttocks, weight even in your shoulders as you flex your toes back towards your shin. Opening up through the hips. Exhale, step your foot lightly in between the hands without making a sound. Drop your back knee and tuck your back toes. Make sure your front knee is not coming over your front ankle as you bring the hips forward into a hip flexor stretch, crescent lunge. So keep the hands on your knee, that right knee, or you can reach the arms up towards the sky, extending through the fingertips. Keep tucking the tailbone under, drawing your lower rib cage in. And then bring your fingertips down to the mat, straightening through your right leg. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold forward. Again, hinging at the hips. Seeing now if there's a little bit more room in your right hamstring. Inhale to put a bend through the front knee. Wiggle your right foot out to the side, both hands onto the inside of your foot. Now you can tuck your back toes under, lift up off your back knee, or you can keep the back knee on the mat, toes untucked here in your lizard pose. If your elbows don't come all the way to the mat, put a block underneath the elbows as support, as a prop. And as you exhale, working the hips down towards the mat, again as you stretch and lengthen the muscles here. Finding more room and extension on every exhalation. Inhale to lift back up onto your fingertips. Wiggle the right foot back into the center of the mat. And exhale, pyramid pose, straightening again through the right leg as you work your left heel down towards the mat. So you're getting a lovely stretch now through the left calf muscle and your right hamstring. Make sure that your hips stay parallel with the mat here. So working the left hip down and then begin to stretch forward. So keep walking your fingertips forward as you lengthen through the crown of the head over your front leg. Inhale to put a bend back into your front knee. Lifting your leg up into a three-legged dog hip opener. And then exhale, bring the foot to the mat, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise the left leg high, bend the knee, heel to buttocks, open up the hips, maybe opening up the chest to the left, taking a peek out underneath your left arm. And then as you exhale, knee to nose, step your foot lightly in between your hands, drop your back knee and tuck your back toes. Inhale up into your crescent lunge. And then as you exhale, use the momentum from your breath to bring your hips forward to find a stretch through the right hip flexor now. Making sure that your joints are aligned. So knee above ankle, pushing the top of your right foot down into the mat for balance and support. Relax the shoulders. Relax your toes. Relax your face. And then bring your fingertips either side of your front foot as you exhale, straighten through the left leg. Keep working the right hip down towards the mat. As you lengthen out now over that left leg again, seeing if there's a little bit more extension and room starting to form in the left hamstring. Inhale to halfway lift whenever you need to, and then exhale to fold back over the front leg. always reaching forward, not only with your fingertips, but with the crown of the head. And then as you inhale, put a bend into the front knee. Wiggle your left foot this time out to the side, toes facing forward, hands onto the inside of the foot. Again, you can tuck the back toes under, come up off your back knee, or keep the back knee on the mat, toes untucked, your choice. As you exhale, begin to drift the elbows down to the mat, keeping the elbows stacked underneath your shoulders, and again using a block for support here if you would like to. Adapt the pose to suit you, and you will feel different in this pose every day depending on what activities you've done for the day, how you're feeling, if you've had much sleep, what you've eaten. Yes, all of these things can affect your yoga practice. So just take it as it comes without expectation. Inhale, lifting back up. Exhale, pyramid pose, fold over your left leg. This time working your right heel down to the mat to find a stretch through the right calf muscle. Now reach out here with the fingertips, extend through the crown of the head, hinging forward at the hips. So you're creating space at the hips to bring your body further forward over your front leg. And leading the charge is the crown of your head. Big deep breaths on every exhalation. See if you can go a little bit further. And then as you inhale, put a bend back into your front knee. Taking that leg back and up into the air for one more hip opener. Three-legged dog hip opener. And exhale. Drop your left foot down to meet your right, downward facing dog. Dropping the knees to the mat. Let's come sideways now on the mat. So bring your knees up to the edge of the mat so that your ankles are still on the mat, just for comfort. And now take the knees out as wide as you can and take your ankles then out as wide as your knees. So we're forming right ankles here. Right angle with the knee, right angle with your ankle. So the toes are dorsiflexed towards your shin, and then bringing your elbows down onto the ground, or like me, if you've got a bit of rough grass underneath you, I'm just using the block here just for comfort underneath my arms so they don't get pricked by the grass. And then as you exhale, begin to walk your sitting bones back towards your heels. So gently drift them backwards and feel again the opening through the hips, the inner thigh, the groin. So this is called frog pose, and it's a very effective hip opener as we move our hips in their full 360-degree rotation to build the synovial fluid in the hip joints to counteract those actions that we do a lot as human beings, like sitting in a chair, sitting in a car seat. So now we're using our hips to their full potential, which is pretty exciting. Good. So as you inhale, lifting up slowly, gently, carefully, drawing the knees back in. Take your time here. You will feel it. And then coming to face the front of your mat. Again, cross your ankles behind you and come and take a seat. Straightening both legs out in front in Paschimottanasana. Make sure that your sitting bones are again planted down into the earth. Flexing the toes up towards the sky. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. Same principles apply. Hinging forward at the hips. Open heart. Gaze forward over the toes until your torso can rest down onto your legs to ensure that you're protecting your lower back. So as you can see here, I've put a little bend in my knee to allow the torso to find a connection with my legs. And this ensures that my spine stays straight and there's no discomfort in my lower back whatsoever. And then on every exhalation, I begin to drift down closer towards my legs. And notice how I also just gently start to walk my fingertips forward as I find a little bit more room here in the hamstrings. So I'm not gripping onto anything. I'm not forcing my torso down, but rather letting myself be guided down from the hips and feeling this stretch from the top of the hamstrings all the way down, but not behind the knee joint, protecting our joints. Just take one more breath here. And then as you inhale again, rolling up through the spine, 1 or 2 big shoulder rolls at the top. And then reaching the arms forward, and as you exhale, connecting with your core as you drift your back down onto the mat. Hug both knees into the chest, rocking from side to side. And then bring the left foot onto the mat, right ankle on left knee. As you draw the left knee in, take hold of that left knee, guide it in towards the chest as you gently push your elbow into your right knee to deepen the glute stretch here on the right side. Toes are active. And then releasing your figure 4 stretch. Bring your right foot onto the mat, left ankle on right knee, and let's repeat on the other side. So again, pushing the left elbow gently into the left knee as you draw your right knee in closer towards you, deepening the glute stretch in your left leg. Flexing back the toes, dorsiflexing the feet to protect your knee joints. Relax your shoulders down into the ground. And then as you exhale, release the pose, hug both knees back into the chest and find your happy baby pose. Taking hold of the outsides of your feet, and like you're walking on the sky, draw the feet down, knees coming closer towards the armpits as you extend your tailbone along the mat. Rocking from side to side. You might like to pistol grip the big toes here, straightening through the legs as you draw the toes down to the ground. If this feels good for you, do what feels good here. Keeping the legs in the air. So now we're going to move into some more inversions. So what we're doing here, this is so rejuvenating, relaxing, revitalizing for your legs, is draining excess fluid from the toes and the ankles back to the heart for reoxygenation. So one more Supta Baddha Konasana with the legs in the air, soles of the feet together, knees out wide. And then to top it off, let's find our block, bring it underneath our tailbone, arms alongside us, palms face down into the mat, and then take both feet up into the air as you straighten through the legs. And notice how my legs are at a slight angle here. So now I'm stretching through the lower back. And this is really, really awesome after a long day of standing, walking. So relaxing. Now you can do this pose with your legs up against the wall. Again, if that's not available to you, you can use a block underneath you or roll up a towel or a mat, put it underneath your tailbone here. And then you might like to roll the ankles, scrunch up the toes and roll the ankles to release the muscles in the feet. Maybe take the legs out wide if that feels awesome for you as well. Arms can come out shoulder height if that feels better for opening up through the chest and increasing the flow of breath into the body. Let's stay here for a few more rounds of breathing. Coming back to that big yogic breath that we practiced at the start. So inhaling, visualizing the breath going in through the nose, deep down into the body. And then as you exhale, visualize the breath coming back out through the nose. Closing the eyes, eliminating any outside distraction. Keep all your thoughts to within the 4 corners of your mat. Being mindful of the body. Noticing how you feel now compared to the start of this yoga flow. then without disturbing the body too much, hug the knees into the chest, bring your forehead to your knees. Bringing your feet back onto the mat and simply lift up your hips, lower the block a little bit so that it is lengthways across underneath your bottom. And then straighten the legs, take the arms overhead, hold on to opposite elbows and simply let yourself go like butter melting over the block, toes gently falling out to the side. As you release through your lower back, open through the shoulders and deepen the breath. And then when you're ready again, very gently, just bending the knees, bringing the arms back up and overhead. Lift up your hips, take the block out from underneath you carefully, and then purposefully rolling your lower back down into the mat, moving into your Shavasana. Palms face up, fingers naturally curling in. Just letting yourself completely let go into the mat, relaxing every muscle in the body to allow all those nutrients and oxygenated blood that you have created to reach, bathe and wash every cell in the body with its goodness, maximizing the true full benefits of your asana practice today. And then slowly bringing life back into your fingers and your toes. Perhaps reaching the arms up and overhead as you extend through the fingertips, Extend through the toes, the feet, hugging the knees back into the chest before rolling over onto your right side or your left if you have low blood pressure, using your arm as a pillow to keep your spine in its correct alignment. And then keeping the eyes closed, lifting up into a comfortable seated position at the front of your mat. Hands into Anjali Mudra at the heart center, bowing the head slightly. Namaste.